Welcome back, everybody, to episode 5 of Product Sense with the lovely Delio.
I'm lovely.
And MC Dangerous Mouse Campbell.
Oh, it's going to be an episode.
It's going to go.
Welcome back to the Sense and Sensibility podcast, where we talk about the good, the bad,
and the unnecessary products we come across every day as moderators on Steam Hunt, a Steam blockchain-based product hunting site.
I'm Delio.
And I'm Team Humble. Let's get started.
Oh, I hate that intro so much.
Every time I hear it now, all I can think about is how much you hate it. Which I didn't.
I feel like
about it until you said that.
It's like da 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 da.
Hunting.
It's like I'm trying to explain to somebody from another culture where I want to go in the city at JFK. You know, I need to go. Look, I'll say it once more, mate. I've been on a plane 8 hours. I need to go.
Ray's
sorry, mate.
pizza.
Yeah. All right. So episode 5. We don't have a title for this.
Well, we don't. Do we usually? I mean,
don't you want me? You know I don't believe in.
Wow.
Normally we don't.
Yeah, I don't think we have like a set topic usually. But if you, what do you want to talk about? Tell me about your dreams and your hopes and your feelings.
Last week's. Wow, I don't think I can fit that in. Well, can fit it in the next 10 minutes actually. Oh, baby. I think the last episode is probably the best one we've done, right? Out of all of them, I think last week's was the best one.
Cool.
We don't have audio from people this week, I don't believe, because nobody's sent anything in. So I'm just freestyling with stuff. So I'm not bothered with that. Just get on with it. Job done. But I felt last week was really good. It's really fluid. We were chatting about stuff. And I think it's just because it was a interesting week on Steam Hunt.
Yeah.
Or at least I felt it was. I don't know. It's like some weeks, it's like most websites, they can grind on you after a bit. And this week has been a bit of a grind for me, if I'm honest.
I think this week was like interesting in not good ways.
There was just so much stuff on the site that I was just like, oh, God, really? Like, I feel like we've got a new group of people who are just like trying to gamify it for the sake of gamifying it, pushing stuff up to the top, or influencing. God, I just
well, and also we did have like
fresh
technical drama in the middle of the week. Of course, we had the blockchain just was like, "Hey, I'm out," and everybody was kind of like left being like, "Oh, okay." And I think I think a lot of people learned the relationship between Steam Hunt and Steam It a little bit better because of that this week. Because
maybe
I would hope so. I mean, I remember being on Discord and about every 15 seconds, a new person would rock up and be like, I can't post my post. What's happening? And they don't go and like scroll up and read that it's been discussed for about the past 2 hours. But we had a day that we were like totally down.
I've been thinking about I kind of did a vlog about that today in terms of we need to do more about bug bounties, but also I think there's a lot of messaging that can be done across all the sites, all of the apps, because they all rely on it. And it's really difficult to hard sell Steam as being decentralized and therefore better than centralized when the bloody website's down. Because you don't see a website, that's it, it's down. But there's witnesses that are up. So I think what needs to happen, and I think this would be a good thing to show, is maybe when Steam It's down or when DLive or DTube's down, that we just show a visual representation of the nodes being up and then a universal message across all of those sites. I mean, they're all based on Steam. So why don't we just have like
something?
I know this sounds stupid, but like a centralized, decentralized message about issues.
Right.
Because I noticed that Steam was at a conference like 2 days before that.
Right.
And you got all these people going to the conference and being like, oh, this is Steam. It's cool. It's decentralized. It's better than centralized. And then 2 days after that event, like the blockchain goes down, most of those people are traveling back.
Right.
So they'll be getting home and trying it for the first time. It doesn't work. So it doesn't look good for Steam Hunt either. And it's difficult for us. Give us a mod off day, which, that was kind of nice because we get to have like one mod day a week off. Well, we can have up to 3, but
we have mandatory.
Yeah, it was a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. You just got to go with it. I mean, it wasn't that bad, really.
No.
I mean, it's not as if we had thousands.
I mean, when's the last time it went down at that level? Like, I mean, it has to be like months and months and months. I don't really, I remember times of things being like a little bit hiccupy and weird over the past, 6 months, a year, but a total stop. Of course, it was terrible timing, like you said, because of the conference.
Well, it's a bug. I mean, that's the reason why I did the post about bounties. Is that it was a bug. Literally, it wasn't like something that brought it down.
Right.
There was a bug in the code, and it just the HF20 tried to kick in and be all AI sentient Terminator 2 and was trying to find Sarah Connor. So it was just like, oh, all right. It went off and did its own thing for a little while. So, I mean, it's pretty damn resilient, really. And it's going to be, if we're going to build, Ned of Steam It wants to have thousands of apps running on top of it. You can't have what's the point in having thousands of apps fall over?
Yeah, but hey, let's get our SMTs, please, then already. It's easy to be demanding. Yeah. It really is easy to be demanding, but it's also incredibly amazing feat that it is up as much as it is up. There's this, it's kind of uncharted waters in terms of a lot of things, this technology. So,
I mean, 20 iterations of hard forks is pretty hardcore in 2 years for sure.
Yeah. We fork it.
It also shows me
we out here.
Shows me the passion for it too, though.
Sure.
It just shows one of the reasons why staying around instead of looking around at other things and other ICOs is that it's got that Twitter thing to it. Steam Hunt's got that Twitter thing to it. The first mover advantage. Like whoever brings an ICO out now or another blockchain to do with products has got to build or equal the legacy that Steam Hunt's
Except
made.
They don't have awesome mods like we do, so they're SOL in my humble opinion.
I don't mind being headhunted. Oh, babe.
Oh, baby, don't say that.
Ow.
Well, actually, speaking of moderators, do you want to talk about what do you want to do? You want to talk about some beefs, or do you want to talk about this super special feature that we love now, the special?
Oh, we should start with that because I want to do it. I'm waiting to do it. So, we should start with that now. Go for it. Tell people.
So we have a special. Well, I say we, like I made it. I didn't make it, but I sure do appreciate it. It is. We have a little shuffle button on the site. You may have seen the shuffle button. I think the actual button itself has been live for about 2 weeks. And I remember you and I actually had a little bit of a meltdown because the arrows didn't look centered in the middle of it, but that's sorted. I know it's really important. You are all waiting for the arrows, but what's awesome is they tacked on a little lottery feature now. So every 24 hours, so once per cycle in the Steam Hunt day, rollover, which goes by 12 a.m. Korean time, you can click that little button and a little animation of a coin pops up. It's very Sonic the Hedgehog. There's this kind of retro arcadey slot machine noise that happens, and you get a random number of hunt tokens. And it's completely for doing nothing except spinning the button. And it kind of appeals to my addictive personality of things like that, where I'm just like, again. But it's also a really cool way to expose yourself to new hunts that you wouldn't necessarily see because it refreshes the feed. So you get a random selection of hunts. So we decided we'd do it live today on the show. Aren't we? Our time.
So it goes anywhere between 10 and 200. Okay. You get anywhere between, it's a random figure between 10 and 200. Are you ready?
You're going to go? Oh, wait, hold on. We'll do it on 3.
I can do a count. All right. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Ba-ding!
Spinning. 80.
30, damn! You've been getting a really
it's not very high. Yeah, I got 190
I got 60 yesterday. The heck? Yeah. Well, that's what makes it fun. It's random and it's chance.
It's totally random. And I've now got a refresh of stuff underneath as well, which I didn't look at yesterday. I was just give me the money, give me the animation, give me the sound. That's all I care about. Give me the stuff.
Yeah. But
I like that. I think that's a feature that should be rolled out across all cryptos. I can interface with it on the front page and get some of the token. I think there's something to be said for it. I don't know if it was Mona Jam, which is one of our mods, who came up with the idea of incentivizing the brand new people instead of posting something being
disenfranchised.
What do you call it? Disenfranchised and delisted from the site, wanting to come back and hunt. So this is perfect because you get that bit of hunt tokens in your wallet.
Yeah, and I don't know if you
don't
can
know.
tell, but like the most recent category, the random category, that's, I mean, I know you know this because we discuss it in the mod chat sometimes, but a lot of the changes lately have been to make things more fair for people in different time zones. So I know a big big portion of the motivation behind those UI changes, even if you don't like them, even if they freak you out or whatever, is to make things more fair and to give less of an advantage for people who are able to just post as soon as rollover happens, because that's obviously not possible for everybody across the world. So trying to make it less, even though we operate on a 24-hour time window, we try to make the time that you post have less of an influence on how you do for the day. And let's have your actual product determine that.
Yeah, we've got a way to go. We've got a way to go with that. It's interesting behavior, actually, how people like, some people will just come and do their post and they'll let, fire and forget. They're not worried about getting an upvote as much, that they're interested in putting like stuff. Here's the thing I want to get across to people who are just playing that kind of, I want to be in the top 10. I want to be first game every day. Right. You got to think bigger than that. Okay. It might give you some cool points, some credibility points. You might either be gaming it or upvoting it or just, want to beat somebody. I understand that competitive nature, but actually, there's a lot more that you can do than that. It's just that if you really put some time into writing a quality piece, and it's not always going to be quality. Like I literally uploaded like 10 the other day because I wanted to get to 400 hunts. I was like determined that I want to put some of up. So I did 10, even though I'm only going to get voted for one of them for that day. I did 10. My point is that Steam Hunt also makes a great bookmark manager. Like if you've ever if you've ever been asked by friends, like, oh, what's a good site for this? What's a good site for that? How do I find this? Or like, what's your favorite tool at the moment? Or you see people in restaurants who are showing like their friends new apps they've downloaded. Well, why not use your Steam Hunt profile as like your bookmark manager and tell all your friends, hey, I found a bunch of cool stuff this week. It's all on my profile.
For sure.
Because I will tell you this, is that the stuff that you've got on your profile now is going to be valuable to you when the other verticals go next year, because there'll be companies out there that will reach out to, and whoever's hunted those particular things, you might end up starting a relationship. As a I hate the
Please,
word
let's never use it. I hate it too.
We should send it to its grave.
Probably the worst. I remember a couple of years ago, the word guru was the big word. Social media guru, and I was like, puke. If you ain't climbing a mountain in the middle of the Andes to meet the person, they ain't a guru. That's my long and short on that. Sorry, nobody asked for my opinion.
Yeah, I get a horrible visual of blonde, stinky hair, sandals, and bamboo for some reason.
Oh, you mean everyone in?
All right.
Yeah. So I think that was it for like the major site updates. I can't think of anything else. I mean, if there was anything else, it was just completely eclipsed by shiny button token time, which is what I call it.
Sure. People need to just look into the announcements channel, like in Discord. That's the best place for getting real time, up to date, up to today. I mean, you go on the blog. The blog's probably a couple of hours later on. They tend to post it, but most of the time it's in sync. So a few beefs this week. Do you have a particular, which one do you want to like?
Well, I mean, actually, it's I touched on this a little bit earlier, and it's probably a good segue into just this third one I have on the list here, which is like, every time there's like a UI change or a design change on the site, there's like a wave of people who come in like raging on Discord. I don't like this, and it doesn't make this fair because this, and like think about your favorite video game. There's always going to be characters in that game. Like I like to think about when you and I used to play Paladins. There's always going to be characters in that game that things are going to be getting buffed and nerfed. Like take Fortnite, for example, because most people know Fortnite. One day you might download the game or you might, update the game, and rocket launchers are worth 50% of their damage that they were the week before. Like this is like a constant toggling. It's like a balancing act. So it's never like, oh, we set it at this and this is what it's going to be forever. The value that you get over your hunt tokens for contributions is going to change. The design of the site is going to change. Everything is going to change. And I don't think it's going to stop changing, because as things morph, there are ways to keep things more fair and for the devs to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So this is like a multifaceted thing. don't have like a meltdown about every single little interface change, because it, you know, in a couple of weeks it's going to change again. So best to just roll with it.
Yeah, you don't need to pretend to be the best Power Ranger. You don't need to be the best Power Ranger. You don't need a I know there's a lot of people who like the details of stuff. It actually throws them out of whack if they're not up to date on the very latest of what's happening. And I understand there's like algorithm changes, and I'm sure there's people out there from a computer or engineering background who see this as a bit of a challenge. And you know, all power to you. If that's the life choices that you've made, then that's fine. But for a mod who's often coming off the back of like going through 30 or 40 hunts to verify them and being, you know, shocked and stunned from time to time as you step through and like trying to wonder why somebody's posted something, or being like, wow, that's amazing. And then being jumping into Discord to like see what's going on and see if you can help out. Those kind of like questions can be a bit like, oh, really?
Right.
You know, like I would say that announcements and, you know, flipping through the questions and seeing if, I would say it's a big one actually, flipping through the questions per day to see if anybody has already answered that question earlier on in the day, because there is a lot of mods in there that go above and beyond to answer questions when they don't need to, because we do have a community manager called JPlayCo. So, and he has to handle like father duties as well. Like he has some kids. So, you know, most people are as volunteers. Yes, the volunteers get paid a small amount of Steam for their interactions, but they are people who have been not hired, but like trusted by the main team above. So yeah,
and check the FAQ section, because like honestly, 9 times out of 10, all I say to people in the questions channel is like, here's a link to FAQ. It's better been answered. So
yeah, there's a bunch in there.
So just especially on the UI changes, I think a lot of people freaked out when that newest section got added a couple days ago. It's like, you know.
Yeah, I originally didn't like it, and it's kind of interesting how people adapted to it. At first it was like, oh god, this is not like I'm used to seeing it. It's a bit like my mum with Windows, actually. If I move anything on the desktop, I say the computer's broken. It's like the trash bin was there. I can't delete anything ever again. Yeah, I don't know if it's generational, but like wherever icons on the screen, that's where she remembers from her motor functions. Mouse, eyes, left, right, down, move the mouse, click, because that's kind of alien to a previous generation to be like, oh, I'm moving this mouse pointer.
Well, yeah, I think that comes from not understanding behind like the actual workings of it. Bless you. Think about like if you were lost someplace, but you knew the general area, if you took a wrong turn, you'd be able to right yourself. But if you're just like, if you only know I go to the grocery store by going left, right, left, left, like, you know, that's how my dad writes down instructions. Put my mouse here, click here. And if that box isn't there that day, it's like, see you later. But yeah, so that was my main beef. I think I have some others here. What about you? Can you talk about your last one that you have there that you wrote?
Yeah, there seems to be this like weird thing over the last week that everybody's trying to, I don't know. It's kind of like there's so much status, like everybody's trying to compete, and it's kind of like, I know random channel is random, and that's why I spend most of my time in the random channel, because I'm kind of drained throughout the day, because I'm like swapping different tasks, either working for a client or creating some graphics or researching something or learning something. So lots of threads are changing, but it's been kind of weird in the random channel last week. It's like, seems to be a lot of
showboating.
I guess it is random channel, and therefore anything goes. But I don't know. It's changed in the last week, just the last week alone. Almost like there's this kind of male groundswell of just being, I don't know, attitudey for no reason with
I don't know.
It's kind of switched me off to a bunch of people. It's very male.
Yeah.
Like I feel like other people coming in, brand new people coming in, and females coming in. It feels like one of those clubs that you walk into in a city and everybody turns around at the bar and looks at you as if to say like, this is not a club for you kind of thing. And it's, I don't know, it could be I guess I just hope it can be a little bit more friendly. It just seems to be very attracted a particular audience.
Yeah, and also
right now.
random can be like an extremely overwhelming place. I can imagine if you're brand new and you just want to jump in and like see what the Discord's about. I mean, you and I invite people to Discord every week on this show, but I also kind of think like there's been an interesting shift actually, now that you mention it, when hunt tokens became the focus over the hunting. So like a couple weeks ago when you know, a first place spot would get you, you know, 150 Steam or something, you know, like the way it was weeks ago. Now it's kind of shifted into like, oh yeah, you know, I do this, and this, and this, and this is how many hunt tokens I have now. People are like posting screenshots and like, it's just like,
I don't, the hunt token thing doesn't bother me too much. I mean, like I'm pretty pumped about collecting hunt tokens and the talk about it and whatever. And I know a bunch of the mods do, and they're excited about it. I think what I don't like is it's obvious that people are trying to take shortcuts to like, what can I do for the most impact? It's kind of like when social media first come along and it was all like, all right, I'm going to post to 25 different locations, the same thing. Therefore, you know, like I saw something in contributions, I think it was 2 days ago. It was like, I posted this, it's gone viral. Like, and I checked it out, I had like 3 upvotes. It's like, what the fuck? What? Like, I don't know. There's this weird mentality of like, it's like the person who turns up late at a party and goes around a party like, oh, I know such and such.
Right. It's just like showboating.
Like trying to catch up. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just a legacy thing of being at the start and now being where it is. It's an ever evolving ecosystem, like every Discord out there, like every product out there. And I know for me personally, when I go to a different Discord, like the PAL network one, the Peace, Unity, and Liberty, I love their values, but when I get there, it's like, shit, I don't know how to say hi or get involved with that community because I feel like I don't have the legacy. I don't have the history
like the people who are there are just they're going to be the ones who stay, and sometimes it doesn't feel like there's room for somebody else, like room for. I get what you mean,
but I guess that just comes of being somebody who's like into 7 or 8 different threads in a day. Like you just got to accept it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right, so let's get into aside from all that, like the platform's great. We're still getting like hundreds of hunts a day, which is insane. And I know that the engagement's going up. We've got a new social airdrop that we didn't mention. We should quickly mention, which is at the bottom of a hunt now. You can't reshare it onto your blog anymore, but you can output it to Twitter, Facebook, I think Reddit, and then there's also, you can copy the link and distribute that as you want. And you get paid hunt tokens for that the next day, like literally the next day. The accumulation 24 hours of your social, and it depends on how many clicks you get. So if you've got a big audience, I know there's a few people with big audiences out there. And I think that ties into the thing I was saying earlier on, actually, just getting click-throughs for the sake of it is kind of a problem. And I knew it would be a problem because you're going to get people be like, oh, I've got 100 people on social that I follow. I'm going to get them. Oh, can you click this link? That's not engagement. That's just drive-bys. That's just a farming thing. So like if you're just 100 people to get 100 tokens, like I think I saw, I don't know if it was Camsy or somebody like that. They got 800 hunt tokens yesterday for sharing a link in a group. And I presume that group then goes and clicks it. But then this is the whole thing about the internet. Is that really engagement? And it's a funny thing because I post my videos, right? Which is my top 10s. Not many people watch it, but I do it because I love to do it. It keeps me like making video. And yet I had a comment today on YouTube like, oh, notice you do these videos every day. Notice you don't get many views for them, but fair play for like turning up and doing it, not just for the views. So like, you know, like there's interesting reasons why people do stuff. I just think when it comes to the hunt tokens, if we have somebody who's not really active or integrated into the community who ends up with lots of hunt tokens and then has influence on the platform and they got them just from, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's a qualitative
perfect
thing.
Way to do it for sure. But like,
absolutely,
it's just something to think about. Like, you know, that's kind of partially why we do this podcast, you know, it's just to kind of like talk about those things and
shooting the shit. Shooting the shit. As if you were in a bar at 3 a.m. with a bottle of whiskey, you know, like a lot of it's just like easy. Let's just,
what do we have? We got tabs, cabs, and kebabs.
Cabs, and kebabs.
All day.
Let's get into But yeah, no, we'll have t-shirts coming out of yin yang. All right. So, good, bad, and strange of the week. You're good. You're first.
Okay. I love this one. My best hunts are the ones, my favorite hunts are the ones where I'm like, damn it, I wish I had hunted that. Like when you have that moment where you're like, so this one is like right up my alley. It's called, Good on You. Good on You. So it's kind of like a play on that, like saying like, good on you. But it is an app. It says fashion without harm, trusted ethical ratings in the palm of your hand. So this is similar to one that I actually shared a while back, where
with the
for food. I kind of posted the food version of this. This is the fashion version. And as far as I know, there's a ton of exploitation, a ton of like ethical, not so niceness in the fashion industry. So the Good on You app checks how a brand rates to an ethical standard that they kind of have. And then it also helps you discover smaller brands that do better as like a replacement. Like, okay, well, these shoes were made by slave labor, but these ones are similar and they weren't.
Yeah.
Find deals on the best rated brands. So I'm guessing they have a partnership with the smaller brands and they're kind of like using this platform to push those, which I think is awesome. And you can also send a message to the brand with a compliment or a complaint. So this is like exactly, I think the one I hunted was called Buycott, Buycott, for food, scanning barcodes and stuff in the grocery store. But this is like the same thing for clothes. And I don't consider myself like a fashionista, just like buy a flannel shirt and wear it till it's literally disintegrating off of me. But if you're into fashion, that's something that you spend a considerable amount of your paycheck on and you care about where those dollars go. It's called Good on You. And I think it's a great idea.
Where those dollars go, but also maybe re-educating people when they realize that people are not buying it anymore because it is not the real deal. I've seen like scanners and stuff recently where you can scan like a
for authenticity,
bag and
right?
Work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a big thing. And you apply blockchain technology to that, and that's going to take
And
off
this also says the big, sorry to interrupt you, just the big like tenets that they operate on is how they treat people, how they treat the planet, and how they treat animals, which I'm like, I'm so into that. Like, let's be doing better. And you're right. Like now that story is such a big part of buying and having a relationship with what you buy. I don't think brands are going to be able to hide behind like dodginess anymore. So I'm stoked about that.
Well, let's hope so. Anyway, let's hope we can kind of, because I think that systematically like trickles down to whole of society once you start like being suggestive of things like that. My good of the week is a very, very close to my heart. Wish I had one parked up next to me, which is a teardrop style trailer. And there's loads of them out there, and I've hunted a bunch. And if you look on there for like teardrops or pull along trailers, you'll find tons of them on Steam Hunt because of innovation, of design, sustainability, environmental. It seems to have been a big swing for people to actually feel comfortable to talk about it and post things like that, which is really good because I read a study the other day that men specifically don't order vegan breakfast in restaurants because they don't want people to hear them say vegan breakfast.
Wow.
Bizarre behavior.
So like, a love affair with always the McCartney veggie sausages. So hell yeah on that one, Mouse.
So yeah, Pursuit Flyer off-grid camper that takes travel to the next level. And the reason why I like it looks identical to any pull-along trailer that you've ever seen out there, any teardrop that you've ever seen with like a little compartment for like, food and drink and everything. Apart from this one has got where the door is on the back of it is also got this pull-out segment where there's like a bowl and taps and a fridge and a freezer unit, which is really, really rare to get something like that on a teardrop. And this whole thing slides out. So you get out in the morning, you slide it out, make your bacon and eggs, everything's underneath, like the fridge is right there. So you pull your things out, get your milk, make coffee, and then you just slide it back in. I looked at it and thought, be a good idea to be able to flip those around or like have them on some kind of like swivel thing, because then I could get to them inside the thing at night as well, even though you don't have a lot of room in there. It's kind of like I don't want to pay for camping. I just want to park down some lane and get a couple of, get a night's sleep somewhere. But that's my good of this week because it's something that I want to own.
Yeah.
It's physically a product that I really
like
want
that.
to own at some point. Ideally,
I think if you were if you were pulling it with like a hatchback, you could pull the hatchback up to like the back of it and like set yourself up like a catty cornered L-shaped kitchen like situation.
Yeah,
you could really like do a lot with that. That's awesome. Okay, so my bad one of the week makes me so angry, and I'm not sure why. So maybe you can help me figure out why this makes me furious. But
all right, okay,
it's called Blip. Turn headphones into wireless for $10. So basically, the idea is, especially for iPhones, since they don't take the normal 3.5 millimeter jack, there's like a lot of adapters and things out there to work with that. Well, this is like, it literally looks like half of a pen. It looks like you took like a pen or a mechanical pencil and you chopped half of it off and you plugged your headphones into the bottom of it. And it's got like a little clip on it that you can like attach to your shirt, I guess, or whatever. But if you think about it, like, if they're using like the standard fully wired headphones as the like use case for this, the ones that come with the iPhone, you have like that long ass cable just like flying in the wind. And then what's the difference? You just don't have, it just doesn't plug into your phone. Well, your phone's in your pocket anyway. So I don't like, what is it? What is this? What does it do? Who is it for? Why is it $10? Because if you know anything about like Bluetooth and signal strength and audio quality, there's no way that this thing isn't going to be an absolute nightmare to use with Bluetooth. So maybe now I know why it makes me mad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of these things are the things that infuriate me a lot about life, is that sometimes you get a product that's looking for a solution rather than a solution
for a problem, right?
A product that's, like sometimes it's the other way around. It's like somebody thought they could get a cheap Bluetooth chip and then they decided to make it into a round thing and then connect it into, like, I don't know, this clip thing on the top of the thing. I guess it's a styling thing. I don't know. I mean, personally, if they've made it into a clip, they're probably going after the corporate style of person. They're not going after the average person. And I'm going to tell you right now, no corporate person is going to be happy with a 5-hour playback time, right? 5 hours is no good. Like, you need at least 24 hours to go through the whole of the day. So from work into the office, out of the office, on your commute, on the way home. Like, if you're going to use this headphones all day to take calls and all that sort of stuff,
I don't know,
it's not going to do it.
You know more about batteries than I do. It says it fully charges in 15 minutes and then can play for 5 hours. Like, what? Well, how? Like, is it impossible? Setting yourself on fire?
Yeah, no, it is kind of possible because, like, it's a Bluetooth receiver at the end of the day, and Bluetooth is low powered anyway. That's why, like, Bluetooth 4 LTE is even lower powered again. Like, you can run a 4G LTE camera for 2 years on a single battery. So it is incredibly low powered. So it wouldn't take long to charge it because the battery wouldn't be very big. But the downside for the battery not being very big is that, again, this is a product looking for an audience. Right? They're trying to like aim it to a corporate businessy audience, because why would you even think about putting it on a clip, right? On a pocket. You only think about, but 5 hours is no time at all. But like, if you can recharge it in 15 minutes.
Well, the thing, like, they do also show, like,
then it's another thing that I need to worry about.
Where's the charger cable for it? And where the heck is that thing now? What the frick do I plug it into? But this shows like somebody doing yoga and somebody skateboarding. And now picture the white, long, like standard headphones. And then it's like, clip it to your pocket. Well, can't you just put your damn phone in your pocket?
It does have
what are we doing? How confusing. I guess it's small.
No, I guess there is a thing about, security, right? As well. You don't want to be walking down the street at a bus stop, like with your $1,000 iPhone X. Like, you could have any phone. Like, I do like the fact that on the pin, you can also change the volume and the songs with a twist at the top of it. So that changes it a little bit for me.
Well, I'd never ever imagined doing yoga in this thing.
But I wouldn't buy one.
I hate wires. So the fact that this is like wireless, except you have all your normal wires, is just, I think, makes me real mad.
Yeah, but That's because they've got 100,000 of these things, and they didn't realize that everybody was going to go wireless headphones, and they're like, "Shit, we need to get rid of these things. $10, $10. Come and buy them."
They met their goal, so
10,
maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe it's just my personal beef, but
they created a really good Kickstarter. I can't knock them about that. I mean, I don't like the product, but as far as the Kickstarter is concerned, it's a well-designed, well-put-together Kickstarter, and that's what's built trust. And the first thing is at the top, it's like $10. Like, people are going to buy it because it might be their first experience of Kickstarter. You know, it's like, it's a low risk, low entry, and they, you know, for $10. And here's the interesting thing here, right? Forget the product. They now have 800 backers. Right, that is 800 people they can talk to about their next product.
Assuming they don't screw them over so bad.
They've developed
assuming, you know, it goes.
I can just feel
Wait,
the
which
happiness.
podcast is sorry,
the happiness is. All right, yeah, we don't have a happy one.
Yeah,
do
tell
we?
me about your bad.
Yeah, I get you. I won't buy it. It's garbage. Mine's in a similar ballpark. Mine's in a similar ballpark, actually. It's the Goral Y5
Did you
smart
say Y5
TFT
with the number 5?
Y5. Yes,
that makes my stomach turn. I hate it.
The Goral Y5 smart bracelet TFT color screen. So I need it. So the reason why I brought this up is that, you know, not all hardware is built alike. Just because you see somebody with a fitness tracker on them and they tell you when you're drunk on a Friday night that, yeah, I'm tracking my health, I'm tracking this, I'm tracking that, I'm doing all this, I've got these great stats, I've got all these reports. Don't go out and be like, oh yeah, I need to get a fitness tracker, and don't do any research and buy a £20 fitness tracker. Look, when you buy, the reason why things have a sliding scale, have you ever wondered yourself why one fitness tracker is 20 and one is 200? I'm going to tell you what that is now, right? First of all, it's going to be mainly a lot of money being spent on the branding, on the R&D, on making the hardware work with the software. The reason people love Apple so much, even though it's so costly, is they build a unison, a utopia between hardware and software that you don't even see the divide. You just don't see it. And it's that for a modern day digital worker that people will pay good money for, because we want it to get out of the way. We want it to do the job. We want it to be pretty. We want it to be mellow. We want it to be the latest standards. And unfortunately, I have to tell people that these £20, £30 trackers, they're not good. Yeah. The software is terrible. The hardware will probably fail you. The band is going to
give you a rash on your wrist.
They're not built well.
I'm just, hey.
Well, we don't know that.
But the app will be trash. Sure. I guarantee you will be trash. Won't be updated.
What I'm getting at is, do your research on something when it comes to your health, especially like fitness trackers. Like, I'm not saying that this thing is not going to work, and I mean, it's not like you have to wear it, otherwise your health will pack in. But like, if you are tracking your health, the last thing you want to do, especially with something like this, the software might be not very good, the firmware the battery might fail on it, and then you won't be able to export that data into your new fitness tracker with a different brand. That's one thing. So if you're going to go for something, especially a wearable, because technology is different these days, we're in different areas, right? If you're going to buy wearable technology, do your research. Look at other brands. Look at what other people are suggesting, because this won't be your only tracker. Right. I guarantee that. Right. You will upgrade your tracker. You will upgrade it to a new one and a new one and a new one and a new one, because they become like brands that you follow, like Pepsi, or like cars that you have year after year because of reliability. And don't go cheap when it comes to your health. That's all I'm saying.
You know, that's actually a really good point, because when you start something, especially like if you feel like you really want to make changes, like there's something I'm learning with meal prep and exercise, is like, if it becomes a pain, you won't do it. So just like if you're using it to think about, okay, yeah, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get my exercise going. Like, you know, when you get that New Year's resolution type energy, and it's like, this thing actually could be your Achilles heel of your entire plan, because if it's a nightmare to use, you're not going to be able to stick to whatever your new goal is. So that's just my thought on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people buy a piece of technology reading the box and being like, this does everything I need. It does everything it needs to do written on the box, but then you have to actually interface with it yourself. The reason why the reason why software is iterative, hardware is iterative, especially when it comes to a tracker, is nobody's perfected it yet. Everybody's trying to perfect it. Everybody's trying to build the right UI, the right interface, the right level of detail. And that's different for every human being. So they're like mapping a lot of different algorithms. So I would say always go with a brand, always pay out as much as you can afford. And if it means saving to get a better one, then do that, because we have far too much of this cheap, low end crap out there that is a clone of something. But actually, when you dig deeper into it, you will not enjoy the software experience. The hardware might be okay and do all the things, because the Chinese and Taiwan, they can copy anything, but they always kind of fall short on the software side, because they just want to get the product out certain price range. People have seen fitness tracker. They'll wear the fitness tracker just to say they've got a fitness tracker, because we live in this world now where everybody just wants the experience, you know.
Okay.
Your Strange of the Week.
I can't believe that this is a real thing and not a troll. Like, I feel like it's just it's a joke. But also, I don't want to like hate on it, because this actually could be somebody's passion of their life. So I can't really hate on it. It's called Knots 3D. And that's knots spelled KNOTS. It's literally a database of different knots that you can tie. And it's like, it actually is written with passion. So I think somebody who's like really, really into tying special knots, like these are like legit knots, like ones that sailors would know how to do and stuff. It's the whole purpose of the site.
Why is it strange to you?
It's about tying rope in different ways. It's like the most basic analog thing, enhanced to the most technological degree.
No.
And
no, I think
it's just my strange. It's not my bad. Like, I can't hate on it. It's just like, this is something you never would know is even out there or exists if you didn't know about Steam Hunt. Like, see what a sheet bend or bowline looks like rotated at 45, 90, and 180 degrees. Like, okay.
Yeah, but I've seen but I've seen things on the internet. There might be people desperately needing to unravel somebody right now. Right? I've seen survivalistic people needing to do knots to be able to tie up food, and I've seen Japanese people do quite interesting rope arrangements around particular bodies.
So they have
to heighten,
they have boating knots,
stimulation,
decorative knots, camping knots, fire and rescue knots. I mean, those ones actually are really, those are scouting knots, climbing knots. So, these guys are not messing around, is really what I'm saying.
So the strange. So, yeah, terrible. But what you're saying is it's strange. It's
right,
strange,
and I think it's something that I don't have a passion for, and so to me, it just came so left field. It was like, oh, there's actually a community of people who were like, when this dropped, it was like on the message boards, like, yo, you can check out the Tau line hitch knot from a 45-degree angle, sick. Like, if that's your passion and you're into knots, like, get it. But for me, I just didn't even know there was. I didn't even know how many knots there were. This is a whole new world to me.
Ella is not going to read a book about knots. She's just not. In this era, she's just not going to do it. She's just not going to do it. So if you give her a 3D representation, again, this is a product looking for an audience, right? If somebody has just gone, oh no, it's easy now to like do 3D stuff on an iPad, and somebody's gone like, I could just hook that up. So somebody's put it up, like you say, it's a passion project, like somebody's managed to build an app, put it on the web. And you know what? Like, I'm sure there's somebody at the end of this who is getting emails every day about how they've helped them, suspend a goat above a lake somewhere in Albania.
Who was the freelancer who got paid?
I'm sure they're very happy at receiving this.
Tirelessly 3D render the monkey's fist knot. Like,
I don't know, but I love in the news section that has scouting, boating, outside, sailing magazine, straight tip, and dot tech.
I'm telling you, these are so passionate about knots.
Look at all these user reviews. No,
Go ahead, read it.
I have to read this.
5 stars.
I have to read this one. Here we go. Wow, wee! I have goosebumps. I have fallen head over heels in love with knots again. I can't believe so many types of knots can be stored into one easy-to-use app. This app is a must for anyone, man or woman, who is serious about knots. Knots 3D is a great introduction to anyone this could be a steampunk comment. Who is looking into taking up knotting for a hobby. It has all the classics and some outrageous, in capitals, knots.
I have goosebumps.
Outrageous, Biza.
I can't. I'm crying.
Wow.
This is like something that Dwight Schrute would have coded over the weekend. Like,
wow.
I'm going to download it,
It's
actually.
a lot.
I am going to download it.
It is a lot.
Now I feel like I want to know what this person's got goosebumps. I mean,
now you need to know. See, I give you a bit of additional information. Now you got to delve into that.
You guys
3D
can look at
Unreal
all the
Engine of knots.
3D knots that are on the website too. We'll put all of our links like we usually do, so you can see knots. Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to wrap this up. I've got my strange to do. 45 minutes.
Yep.
Got to wrap it up around 50 minutes, as we normally do. My strange of the week is, I think, from a new user, so I got to be a little bit easy on them. Username Huzafa182000. I don't know if his keyboard got stuck or something, or 181999 was taken. But I was going through the mod table. I was verifying stuff. I was knocking things back. I was drinking my coffee. And then all of a sudden I had one of those moments where I looked up and I didn't realize if I'd clicked on the link or not. And in front of me was just this title that said games. Right. And then underneath it says new games in a market. So at that point, I'm like, oh, what's happening here? Like, I'm not quite sure what's happening. And then at the bottom, the body text was pure classic. And I'm not deriding anybody's English or mocking. It's just, imagine yourself in a flow and then being hit with like the most randomest thing. It's like somebody giving you like somebody walking up to you and giving you a fish and walking away, and all right, well, like, what was that? So it says in the body text, all new gaming store with all kinds of gaming products and accessories. Here is a shop, which are so many new products of games. I want to receive my post to Steam Hunt or moderate a team, and also approved my hunt. Thanks. Official distributor of Sony and Microsoft. It's like the strangest hunt I've ever seen. I understand that not everybody from every culture will understand what Steam Hunt is, and we've got a lot of work to do to really get that across to people in lots of different languages. We're not like multi-threaded, multicultural. We don't have a version that everybody can identify with. You assume products are the same for everybody, but actually there is a education skill gap, price gap. So many different levels that you don't even consider, but this one made me like,
when you there's two types of hunts that are like this. One is people are just like trying to do something and I feel like they're trying to get something by you, and then this one in like the way I would interpret it as a mod is just somebody who just doesn't understand Steam Hunt yet, because when you click the link to see what they actually hunted, it's just the iTunes store with the games filter on. It just goes to like a list of iTunes.
There was loads. It's like 9 products, and all of them got delisted. So I mean, after a few, you kind of like got to read the guidelines at some point. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. That's pretty much it for us for this week. I think it's been an interesting week. I think the shuffle thing is going to be super popular. I'm sure. I mean, people are already sharing how many they've got per day, and I know the social sharing is going to be popular as well. And I'm pretty sure that Tabris and the guys have got like stuff up their sleeve anytime soon, because of the airdrop, and kind of moved on from that. There's going to be the wallet stuff. Then there's going to be reaching out to exchanges. It's going to be a lot of busy times over the next couple of months.
I'm just happy to be here. Whenever they put, I'm just thinking about knots. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about knots. I can't not think about knots.
Dale's. Oh my, you were looking at the app.
But when you said it's like handing somebody a fish and walking away, I was like, maybe that's what I could do with my knots. I could just make like a really pristine monkey fist knot and walk up to somebody and hand it to them and walk away.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. That put me down
Get
a
out of
road.
that.
But
Get
that's
out
what
of that,
steampunk
mate.
does sometimes. It just takes you out of yourself and you're like, what are we? What? It's always an adventure. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today. Subscribe with Pocket Casts and get notified right away.
And if you use Anchor FM, feel free to call in and leave us a message. We try and reply in our next cast.
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to anchor.fm/productsense.
And if you'd like to hang out with us on Discord, there's a link on that page as well. We'll speak to you soon.